Since I wasn't buying that explanation, he tries another route, one we've heard repeatedly. He brings up God.
This story just does not add up.
Well, Chris, whether it adds up or not, God is my Savior. That is the truth.
What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to Grim. So I am actually in the editing room right now. My room, actually, I don't know why I called it the editing room, but just before I uploaded this, I wanted to say, I know it's April Fool's, but there will be no tricks here. I don't know if my soul is just dead or I don't care anymore, but yeah, I kind of forgot to include a joke. So I guess the April Fool's itself is that I uploaded. Get it? Because the other 6 days of this week I didn't. Got you guys. Anyways, we're doing a classic decap reaction today, and this one is quite insane, okay? So it's going to have a bit of backstory at the end, actually, to conclude this guy's story, but this dude is not only one of the older people that have been caught, he actually gets away and escapes any legal trouble as a result of showing up on this show, despite a mountain of evidence, and I don't want to spoil too much, so make sure you watch until the very end. Without any further ado, let's just get into it, shall we?
From unemployed...
Hey, how are you?
Good, how are you?
...to successful businessmen. Take Randall Wolford, an oil drilling consultant.
Hey.
Hey, girl.
How are you?
So yeah, this dude is an oil drilling consultant. I don't even know what that job entails, but it sounds like you make an absolute metric crap ton of money. So the fact that he is willing to give up this lifestyle that he's probably living with, you know, quite lavish amounts of money around him at all times, and a very rare career to have, he's just throwing that all away, or possibly throwing it all away, simply to meet up with this Decoy, which again just confirms that for these people, it is a true, actual just desire and sickness that they cannot shake, and they are willing to uproot their entire lives as a result. Also, I just got a massive ick when he was like, "Hey girl," like only a freaking 50-year-old would greet someone like that. Come on, bro. Freaking creep.
Then, less than 2 hours after that chat, he shows up at the house. He thinks the girl's mother is working until midnight.
So where's your mom working?
Oh, actually she works with computers.
These decoys sometimes, bro. I know, again, I'm always harshing on the decoys, but they really are stumbling sometimes, and you gotta be on your stuff if you're gonna be fooling these people, because the person walking into the house asking you these questions is going to be on high alert, at least if they're, you know, half intelligent, which all of these guys are just roughly about half of full intelligence of a normal adult. But they're going to be observing, you know, your every move, and when you stumble like this, when he asks what your mom does, and you just say, "Oh, she does computers," that just shows that this is probably going to be a setup. But no, this guy overlooks that. He's still chilling, pouring himself a drink. He thinks, hey, we got until midnight. Let's just chill, shall we?
Nice house.
Yeah, thanks.
The 52-year-old makes a comment about the pool table. So the Decoy asks a provocative question.
You ever do it on the pool table?
Yeah, once.
Bro, what? I don't ever remember them having the Decoy ask a question like that or really push things in that way. That's got to be super awkward, but maybe this Decoy is like a member of law enforcement and is a little bit more ballsy or something, because I feel like those other decoys would not be asking that question. Usually the person steps foot in the house and they're like, 2 seconds later, Chris walks out. "Hey, pretty casual, aren't you?" Or, you know, he makes just... Sorry, I just tripped myself up. That shows that I could not be a good host for this show. Chris is coming out here with amazing catchphrases, just absolute zingers. And for me, as an example, the only thing my freaking brain could formulate is pretty casual out here, huh? Like, the show would not hit the same with me as the host. I don't know why you guys keep saying that. It just would not hit the same, bro. Nobody can match up to Chris's energy. Clearly not even someone like myself.
Yeah. That's about the only thing I'm any good at on the pool table.
But we won't have a chance to see his billiard skills tonight.
So why don't you make yourself at home?
How you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm not good. You?
There we go. Speak of the devil, Chris pops out here with an amazing catchphrase, and quite casual of a reaction from this guy, which shows maybe he has a plan B. A lot of times when they don't react big, it's because I think they, you know, in their head, have this idea in their back pocket of how they can get out of this if it actually is a sting. Needless to say, I'm very interested to see where this goes and where this guy thinks he can take this.
Do it fine.
Apparently, the wheels start turning in his head.
And how old are you?
I'm 49.
49.
Remember, he's really 52. Online, he gave yet another age, 46.
Bro is having an identity crisis. He's saying it's 46, 49 when he's actually 52. I know that 5 at the start of your age makes you feel old, but I'm sorry, dude. For this actual scenario, you being 46 doesn't make it any better, so I don't know why you'd even lie about that. Plus, you definitely look like you're in your 50s. I mean, you're an oil drilling consultant. It's gotta be a hard line of work, and you can tell you have worked a hard job most of your life, bro. You look like you're 60 or something. But it's okay, keep lying about your age. It's something you guys do a lot. Let's just see what other lies you can formulate with that little idiot brain of yours, huh?
Then as he helps himself to candy, he comes up with this.
And I was fully intending on sitting right here until her mother got home.
You were.
Yes, sir. I was. I was going to explain to her mother how I come to be here.
Oh man, so this is a classic angle, but I gotta say this is one of the most confident deliveries of that lie that I have seen from any of these creeps. So quite a few guys before in the past have come up with this lie where they say, you know, I'm actually trying to be a mentor and teach this kid right from wrong. You know, obviously they shouldn't be on the internet talking to people like this, and I wanted to save them. And this guy's like, no, I don't even want to save the kid. I want to get them in trouble. I was going to sit here, even though yes, I pulled up a drink and was talking about, you know, doing lascivious things on a pool table right next to me about 5 feet away, but otherwise I was just gonna wait here for her mother and explain to her mother that while she's away doing computers all day at her job or whatever that little brat said, her kid is over here on the internet speaking to people like me, and that's dangerous. Like, man, what a freaking beacon for the community. This guy is absolutely out here just saving lives and being the greatest help of all time. Sarcasm, of course. That's obviously the biggest lie ever, but I'm very interested in how confident he is delivering this. I mean, the man must realize his life is about to fall apart, and as soon as Chris starts reading these papers, it's just going to unravel further and further. Okay, so real quick, you guys know the deal. I gotta plug the Patreon. If you want to find some bonus content weekly with Facecam and full of reactions that I simply cannot post to YouTube for one reason or another, make sure you check that out if you want to support me in another way besides just liking and commenting on the video, which already is more than I could ever thank you for. You guys know this month's Grim Squad Overlord, WTF Catboy on that 2-month streak. I appreciate you, homie. Anyways, back into the video.
I have a 26-year-old daughter.
26-year-old daughter. Now, back when she was, if a 49-year-old came calling, would you be okay with that?
No, sir, I wouldn't.
So why is it okay for you to come here?
Well, it is.
Well, it's okay when I do it because I'm not actually trying to creep. Like I said, I'm trying to save this girl's life. So if you would politely let me wait until the mother comes home and leave, you know, just without a trace, I will make sure that that message gets delivered to the mother and she knows that her daughter should not have access to those very same computers she works on for a living. This dude really still thinks he's somehow gonna get out of this one, but it's not looking good for him.
He realizes what he said in his chat speaks for itself.
I would love to taste you, Sequoia.
No denying.
I would enjoy that very much.
While he can't deny what he said online, he sticks with the claim he would have waited for the girl's mother to return.
You don't get it, man. In order for me to even get access to the home to wait for the mother, I gotta be saying those things. You know, these kids are on here on these chat rooms absolutely wilding out. I just had to speak like one of them, you know what I mean? They're always being dirty on the internet, so I figured I would just match it. This dude's story is just bouncing from place to place, and I know that he probably had to work very hard to get, you know, where he is in life, but he just does not seem like a very smart man. He is fumbling right now, and it is absolutely glorious to see. Let's see what other lies he could think of.
What was the next move?
Talk to her.
Since I wasn't buying that explanation, he tries another route, one we've heard repeatedly. He brings up God.
Oh my, dude, God's got no place in this conversation, brother. You just got exposed for literally one of the worst acts ever. There's no way that you can use God to excuse this. I mean, he is, again, like I said, just unable to formulate a single good reason that he's here, and that is because there is so much overwhelming and damning evidence of why he is here and what he was planning to do that there is just no talking your way out of it. You know at this point that Chris has the chat logs. Why are you still fighting this dude? If anything, you got to start crying and pleading to your God about how bad you want to get out of this situation. Maybe that's your Hail Mary, but yeah, I don't know what excuse he could possibly be thinking of, but I know it's just going to be stupid.
This story just does not add up.
Well, Chris, whether it adds up or not, God is my Savior. That is the truth.
You a religious man?
Yes, sir. I'm a faithful man. Yes, sir.
Does your faith involve visiting girls or home alone?
No, sir. It does not.
Okay, all right, you guys. I usually have some pretty explosive laughter in this show, but I think that has to be, personally for me, a top 5. No, that's a top 3, possibly best quote I have ever heard from Chris Hansen on this show. What a freaking zinger. Again, there is nobody else fit for this job of being the host of this show. He did such a magical job here, and that was such a good retort or comeback, whatever word you want to use for it. What a freaking baller Chris Hansen is, man. I'm just impressed by these zings every single time.
There's a couple things you got to know. And I'm Chris Hansen with Dateline NBC. And we're doing a story on adults who try to meet kids online. Now, if there's anything else you'd like to say, Randy, we'd like to hear it. If not,
He's apparently never seen To Catch a Predator.
Dude just absolutely bolts out the door with his drink in hand and is stopped by the police. He didn't have to hear a single thing that Chris was ready to say. He saw those cameras and was like, yep, I'm out of here. I don't want to lose my family and my job, but buddy, it's a little bit too late. I'm sorry. So anyways, he actually gets arrested, and there is quite a saga of this dude's life after this. The reason that I am so shocked by this story is what happened after the taping, and that's usually not the case, but I'm going to read what is on this video here, which explains some backstory. There is some music I can't be showing, and it's literally just text, so I'll have gameplay here. But shout out to Saul, who not only is a YouTube channel that is literally keeping the TCAP community alive with these clips and posting these old episodes in HD, but Saul actually also has the backstories of these guys often in the ends of these videos, and this one is quite insane. So it says Randall Wolford was arrested during the Murphy, Texas sting in October of 2006, and he was charged with, multiple solicitation charges. The next day, he was released on $50,000 bail bond awaiting trial using some of that oil money. But apparently, in this same investigation, there was a massive scandal with another suspect that actually ended up, causing himself to not exist anymore, let's say. And therefore, the DA that was working on the case refused to prosecute any more of the men that were arrested during that operation, saying that many of the cases were tainted by involvement of amateurs, which I don't know how that's possible. As I said, these decoys are on the money every single time. They're not amateurs. Joking, of course, but apparently that was just enough to get his cases absolutely dropped. So the man walks free, ends up divorcing his wife, his life kind of falls apart, and then literally 2 years later, he gets caught speaking to a police decoy that was posing as another, person he should not be talking to on the internet. Ended up meeting up with them, had a bad vibe when he met this police officer who was just, like a female officer that looked much younger than she was, and he ended up trying to flee. They caught him later, and later after that, it was literally a one-day trial, and he was sentenced to 24 years and 4 months in prison without parole, which for somebody of his age is pretty much a life sentence. Absolutely insane case. The fact that this guy got away from the show and still reoffended 2 years later just goes to show that for these people, again, this is a sickness that they cannot evade in their mind. Eventually, it just builds up and up, and they are so impulsive that they go out and do this. So thankfully, he is off the streets. I have no idea if the dude's still alive or if he's still in prison. I mean, obviously, he still is in prison if he's alive, but yeah, insane story. Let me know what you guys thought in the comments down below. I loved that we had some extra, info at the end of the show here that usually doesn't happen. Insane story overall. So if you enjoyed this one, make sure you drop a like. Again, check out the Patreon. Much thanks to my Grim Squad legends and just anybody that supports the Patreon in general. As always, I appreciate you guys watching until the very end. Make sure you check out my Call of Duty channel if you want to see some cool video gaming stuff from me. Links are going to be in the pinned comment and the description. As always, I'll see you guys in the next one, and until then, peace out.